Sorry. How the hell are you? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy Part 17. Last time we kicked off the final case in Justice for All, Farewell My Turnabout, and certainly a very familiar flavour to everything so far. Unfortunately I'm terrible at remembering case names, but I think it was the... Was it the last case in Phoenix Wright 1 that was like the studio and shit? Because it certainly has a lot of ties to it. Returning characters, very similar sort of themes. Yeah. So here we are. I think last time we basically... Oh, why were we getting like 6 FPS? Hold on. No, it might have just been a temporary glitch. I think we're good. Yeah. Yeah, we've done the investigation, at least the initial investigation. These cases sometimes tend to find us going back to investigation at some point. We are here for the beginning of the trial, so that's fun. I now have to remember where we were with Adrian. Did it? Adrian did it? There we go. We met some, yeah, we've introduced all the key players and stuff. We'll probably see them as this goes on. So yeah, we'll hop into it. My control just turned itself off. Oh, it did it again. I need to get a better, I don't know if it's the cable or what it is. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Nope, that was not the right voice for that, but that's fine. Mia! We must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Oh, that's interesting. There might not actually be like extra investigation if this has to be won by the end of the day. Unless, of course, we get him acquitted, but we haven't actually solved the murder. Possible. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. It's him! Beep. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how should we say, tired. That just sounds like you... No. Ping. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest. If you please. Wait! Beep. Damn. The kidnapper sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Pinocchio Wright. Ace living puppet. 10 AM, courtroom number 3. And it's Old Man Judge for the first time in this case. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor. Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Well, that's unexpected. Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Whew. I thought he'd show up. Hooray, you have arrived. Yeah, Francisca got shot, and now Edgeworth is here. I don't know if that's better for us or not. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Like, goddamn, what a way to start. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Oh good, she's not dead, I guess. Luckily, I have looked this case over and I'm familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right? I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. I love you, Phoenix Wright. Now, by the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Or it might be yet. Oh, that's right, the shoulder. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Oh, I'm sure this will be productive. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct, for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. And usually that comes with badge and gun, Dick. Just gonna hold on to the gun? Fair. Detective Gumshoe! The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. So smile. I know, I don't want him to lose his job. He's, like, helpful and dumb in an endearing way. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! There's the spirit. Oh, that makes sense as well. Yeah, he probably never had one. Maybe like a water pistol, and even then he probably managed to kill someone. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's probably like an entire game's worth of Dick Gumshoe mishaps leading to trials. Maybe somewhere in the future. That's like Phoenix Wright 46 of 52. Bare facts of the case. I didn't know there was a bear involved. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carrera, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. Oh, that's right, there is bears in this case. Shit, I forgot. So many bears. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Interesting. In that case, it didn't seem important to bring up. Dick. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I shall. Bare facts of the case. So we're just going to press on everything, because that's always how I start. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 PM. I said after, not during. It ended around 8 PM, and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, Detective. Juan Carrera. Fantastic. List away. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Mortuary's a very good one as well. Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? Oh, she's a delight. You'd love her, Judge. So many issues. She's the defendant, Matt on Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Indeed. We're barely 10 minutes in. I do love the Judge. He's a simple man. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. And she is, indeed. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. Indeed, you catch on quick, Judge. After looking into the cause of death, oh, I've already read that bit, so we don't need to read that bit again. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Carito was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Because, yeah, it wasn't like a sharp knife by the looks of it. Take a good, hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana. He's at least 70, yeah. He probably should have retired. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Yes, Judge. Good save, Your Honor. Then, what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. Ooh, like a red herring. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. One that does something with bananas. His mind is gone. Just... And then... Pop. Empty guitar case. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. Fair. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. Have we considered the raccoon might have done it? And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? Ah, so it can't have been the raccoon, because raccoons leave, like, human-like fingerprints. Could have been Lotta. Does she have fingerprints? I see. Ah, so much for my theory, then. It's not really your job, Judge, to be theorizing. You're to judge. And then... Pop. Final one. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. Likely place for it to be. I'm just trying to think, because they said that his was the only fingerprints found. She could have been wearing gloves, I suppose. But then that could be anyone still. I mean, we've established it wasn't. Maybe it was. Who knows? The victim, Juan Correa, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So, you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was out on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. That is true. So, that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. The guitar case or the murder case? Oh, hooray. I have stumbled into something. I tend to do that. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. It's amazing. Like, 90% just, bullshit and nonsense, and then occasionally I will accidentally have figured something out. Yes, sir. I can't remember if I said that or not. Why arrest on guard? We shall find out now. Matt on guard and Juan Correa were huge rivals with each other. You might say they had a heated rivalry. I haven't seen that. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. Sure that's not an egg? It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime. No. Yeah, who could have lighted a egg? I'm trying to remember if there was any birds around the Jammin' Ninja in that stock photo of the Jammin' Ninja they keep using. I don't remember. Which makes this a predetermined murder, premeditated murder, not predetermined. How do we know he bought the knife for the crime? When it's clearly a knife they use at the hotel. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. Plates. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Yeah, because there was like the dinner plate in Matt's room that was missing a knife. I can't remember if I pointed that out at the time or not. I might have. Knife added to the court record. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button also... is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jammin' Ninja's button added to the court record. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? Wrong. I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Oh dear, sorry I made myself laugh there. Just that was very innuendoous banter, considering I previously decided that what Edgeworth had learned was that he loves Phoenix. Yeah. Why rest on guard? The pressing. So, pop. But in terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic? You know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carrito was always one step behind Mr. On Guard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. Yeah, exactly. They're in love. But Mr. Carrito lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. I mean, probably not as downhearted as when he got choked to death, but probably, yeah, upset. Alright. In his way. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Carrito in the popularity polls. Yeah, also down hard. I guess. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. No point here, Phoenix. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not, well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Huh? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! No, detective. Let's continue with the testimony. Yeah, it's usually a bad sign when the... How old is Gumshoe? Wait, I can check. To the court record. Profiles. He's 31. He's younger than me. Not my poor pension, too. Oh, like, they're not putting him on pension, they're just taking away his pension money. Detective, if you value your money, no, I don't proceed, you suggest. I suggest you proceed. It's a rough 31. Yeah, he's seen some shit. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? He does. He looks... older. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. Button? Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? It's a giant fucking button from a ninja costume, Phoenix. Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Hands on the desk. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Sure. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. For the fishing minigame. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. Irk. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. And... oh. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Carita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. Irk, yeah. That's a word. It's not like a sound, it's a word. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what's he trying to say about me here? That you're tricksy. The defendant's fingerprints... oh, we've already read that bit, so it's fine. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, he definitely is. Again, he learned a lot about himself in his little holiday. Or whatever it was he was doing. By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless! Were you paying attention to the testimony, Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? Yeah, this bit I don't get. How do we establish that he bought the knife? There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. What? Ah, well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with on-guard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. Oh, yeah, definitely. He went a-cruising. Indeed. Indeed they do. That didn't make sense. I'm agreeing with you. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? Alright, so... what are we looking for here? She said what he just said. Alright, well, let's look at the... what have we got? Ah, wait, I know. No! Oh, no, I pressed. We're good. I didn't present. Because it literally has the hotel's name on it. So we need to get back to the point about buying the knife. Where is that? Ah, there it is. Present. I can think. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife unless the hotel sells them in some sort of gift shop. Also, did they not look at the knife that has the hotel's name engraved on it before anything else? Because, I mean, the fact that it's clearly came from Matt's room doesn't help Matt. But the fact that it has the hotel's name on it completely destroys their he bought the knife theory. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Is that like our mascot, the Gatewater seal? He's delightful. Gatewater. I think I've heard that name somewhere before. It's the hotel. It's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. It's probably for the best he's got fired, if I'm being honest. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel. The hotel did it! Yeah, I mean, he's probably on her level. I mean, he at least knows what a hotel is, so that probably puts him ahead of her slightly. But he's also 31 and she's like 8, so it probably balances out. Which means that this murder was not premeditated. Unless, again, the hotel somehow did it. And we can't look past the possibility of a sentient, murderous hotel. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... Yeah, there we go. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? You said very big. No. I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? Tapping my brow. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realise this. Well, he said currently on the... Oh. Yes, Mothman is the hotel. Also got some fun surprises revolving around Mothman for the next Planet Coaster stream. But I didn't know... Oh. Whimper. Yeah. I did just some decking about off stream, just so I have stuff ready to go on the stream. So, you'll see it on whatever day I'm doing Planet Coaster. Is that Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I'll find out now. Just so I know. For my own good. Yes, Thursday. You'll see on Thursday. Hooray. Look at me knowing shit about my streams that I've been doing for like 6 years. Yeah, I thought that was a good enough reading of Whimper. He seems like the sort of person that would have whimpered the word whimper. The question is, do you want to go out this week, Phoenix? What? Where did this knife come from? I said, where did this knife come from? But, why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Caritas. I see he's about to do the... He's about to do the room business. With a shrug and a chuckle. Sorry, Your Honour, but that is incorrect. His room was full of bears. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. How is the court seeing this? I don't remember having a photo of this specifically. There is a knife and fork on the table. And a fork. He'd get on well with Mothman in that regard. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? The hotel. Tapping the brow. If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Oh, are we all just picturing this in our heads collectively? Is this the court of imagination? Oh, we did like a flash. We're just imagining this. Fun. Especially what was on top of his table. Butter. Or bread. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. I mean, you're not wrong. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Maton-Guard's knife was missing. Yeah, that's what's currently going through his head as well. Irk, again. Oh, I'm surprised I'm surprised the even reduced auto mod let that one free. Fine, so hooray, it's working now. Mr. On-Guard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Because I feel like that was the sort of thing that was flagging before, so that must be working. Jesus. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. Or he was going to have dinner and wasn't sure how much cutlery Carita had in his room. You know, or had letters to open. With a steak knife. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. With a bow. Yeah, I know it's fine on bashing twink heads in, but it's big on grammar. You've got to spell that shit right, I guess, for the auto mod. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. I hope not, or else we're going to have issues. Just a pedant, just a big grammar pedant, I guess. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. He played a trap card. A murder weapon with fingerprints on a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honour's time. I feel like Your Honour's time isn't that valuable. Like, we haven't learned a lot about the judge outside of court, but I can't imagine he has like a busy life. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defence were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown. It means evidence that the court hasn't seen. I know what it means, Mia. I'm the ace attorney. In other words, new evidence. Oh, I thought he was going to like respond with something like that. No, he just needed that explained to him. Okay. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar enough with Death Note to know what the Death Note music is, but I will assume it's hilarious. That's right, he did have to be told to flip over a receipt. Yeah, it's probably for the best that Mia explained what evidence not previously shown to the court means. If we answer with something wrong here, I'll lose some health points. Okay, dramatic piano, that makes sense. That gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Gavels ring? Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? I'm going to say I do, but I'm also going to see it first. I feel like this, because sometimes there is a situation where you're meant to say no. But I'm going to say yes. Well, he put his hands on the desk, so that's got to mean something. There's one. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. The one piece. Something that this court has yet to see. Yeah, the music stop. I've learned that. If the music stops, it usually means you've done something right. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. The One Piece Israel, Phoenix Wright, is king of the pirates. Yes, it's a good thing the judge also enjoys the dramatic, or else this case would have already been closed. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. I wouldn't say they're my usual bluffs. Like, I think I only learned about bluffs like a couple of trials in. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Well, mainly for Matt. Super Cena. You may now present one and only one piece of... that's going to make me laugh every time he says one piece. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? I don't know. I have no idea. He does. What am I looking for here? Oh, this is for all my health points. It's a good thing I saved. I mean, well, I feel like we should wait until Adrian's definitely in the room before we start fucking with her. Like, she hasn't been called yet, so she's probably not even listening yet. But if I can't think of anything else... Because I don't actually entirely know... Like, I'm not contradicting anything. Fucking Edgeworth has basically just goaded me into supplying evidence. Oh, delightful. I'm looking forward to it. Is it the juice? The music stopped. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. They definitely stopped intentionally saying, look at this photograph. Because they did it all the time in the first game. We are. SMRT. Like, there he definitely would have said in the first... If this had been the first game, it would have been, take a look at this photograph. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. Also, that's not a wine glass. That's like a flute. Yeah, like constantly he was saying, look at this photograph, and then every time he said it, I was saying, every time I do it makes me laugh. And then I started Justice for All, and they have not said it once. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. Wright is Nickelback. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. You mean this one piece of evidence? Your stunned silence tells me I'm right. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth, you may continue looking at me with your puppy dog eyes. What is it, Your Honour? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. Right you are. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. Oh, I was thinking she was like so taken aback by the whole murder that she needed a drink and then set it down, but your thing makes more sense, like she came into the room with the drink and... that does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright? Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? Does she wear gloves? Does she drink juice? That's a Bloody Mary. Tomato juice with alcohol. That's quite a nice drink. It's like what alcoholics have, like at breakfast. I mean, it's possible. Unless there's a reason it's not possible, but I can't think of why it wouldn't be possible, so I'm going to say it's possible. It's possible that this is what happened. There's nothing that points to Miss Andrews not being the one who set the cup down. And if I raise an objection here, that would only make the judge slam his gavel down. And I don't like loud noises. You can't think like that, Phoenix. Mia, right now you're hanging on by a very thin thread. Like a button. Anything else you can grab onto right now is better than nothing. So in other words, push as far as we can go. Personality. Oh, okay, yes. Yes, I get what you're saying now. Makes sense. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. Oh, right, yes, I see now. Yeah, like she is like a running inner monologue. Just thinking everything through as she does it. On the same page as you now. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. We could ask her. And also about, like, other things in her past. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming she's just downing them as she's waiting to be called here. For the nerves. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Her fingerprints are on the glass, aren't they? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. I need you to be harder, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints. Fingerprints. That wasn't really a question, was it? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? Yeah, it's like constantly talking down to herself, somehow. They were not the victims, nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? Wine glass updated in the court record. Found next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrews' fingerprints. That is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Shall we go get a drink? What? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Carita. Like this. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Also, I looked up the character you said she looks like, and she does. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I'm on log sometimes. I forgot the name, but yeah, the person you said she looks like, she does look like. Still not sure who I was thinking of. Tisk. Still haven't figured out how to properly verbalize a tisk. That's the one. Riza Hawkeye. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. But wait a second. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't come in here. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff! Please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Yeah, like he has this case won. That's who I was thinking of, with Samus Aran. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh good, it's old bag. Witness! Your name and occupation, please. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Ha! Gotcha! I wonder what happened to that. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Ooh, edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the Witness Stand. Oh, that's a good name. The Wicked Witch of the Witness Stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Also, you were quite taken with Windy Old Bag from what I remember from the previous case, Mr. Judge. Maybe I'm wrong. Oof, shush. I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Grumps. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Yes, madam. No. Please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. Implied that Adrian came in with the glass because the thought amuses me in a way like... Oh yeah, like that's very much what he's hinting at. It's... Yeah, this fucking wino was carrying a glass with her. Can't go 5 minutes without a drink. Your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? She does. We've put Margaret Thatcher on the stand. Ugh. Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. Well, that's kind of refreshing, I guess. Considering the amount of people in these games who are interested in children. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Don't like Edgy Poo. Yeah, she went undercover, not great cover as a windy old bag, but I feel like people would have figured that one out easy enough. You wouldn't have needed Mystery Inc. for that one. What you witnessed? Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room and shut down some mines. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of Per Juan's room. It was on guard. Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. It's probably not this, but is it going to turn out that Matt and Juan were like secret lovers? So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room. See? It has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What you witnessed? Also, you'd think given her history, the last place she'd want to be is another hotel. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help. I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. Heh, I even took out a few of the nails. You sabotaged a stage. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. Damn, we have to beat her this time. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. I'm glad she said wings and not legs. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door. Does sound like Adrian was hard at it. Just I feel like that's where it was going with her. She was going to go to Juan's room and spread something. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Which was? Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgepoo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Also that, yeah. The hotel liked to leave milk outside of the rooms. She went and just snatched it all up. Oh? Then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Karida's room? I have no idea! I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20 I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, for the court we could find out. Or can't we? Is that a... They left her age a mystery! Because she faked her death at some point to become Wendy Oldbag. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, and there's no birth certificate to verify an age. The witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I mean, she does it in the next bit, fine. I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was... Yes, he was. Ah, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, no. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now. Yeah, I'm sure Edgeworth wishes you had Francisca's whip as well. Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was on guard. Not on guard. You saw my client. Are you sure about that? Yesy. Yesy? Yesy? Really? Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's face. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth. Chip Skylark? His teeth were... shining? No! A fate worse than death. Well, he's shining all around in this week's pin-up poster, dearie. This week's... pin-up? Why do you... I mean... I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? On guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I mean, it was very... She gave an account of the witness. I don't see how it wouldn't be. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Oh no. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride. And that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted his good favor. We never had it, Phoenix. It's fine. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. It's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? That's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? It's because you're not the one who has to question her. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna... press again. So it wasn't the face. What the person was carrying. Exactly. She devastated the nation. What was the man you saw carrying? Just a monster. In which hand? His right or his left? No, this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then, how about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? No. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. You've wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. It's more valuable than gold to me. Yeah, it's one of her better ones. Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of her childish whining? She may not... Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, I've ran through 2 of my options, so time for the last. I'm assuming is what I meant to do. And press. Drink. Again, yesy? Yesy? The person's clothes. That's a nice break from tormenting a nice lady. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters. But it does. No, what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket. Huh, interesting. He was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. Huh. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this now once we get Adrian on the stand. So, Mr. Wright, could you get me one of those pantaloon-removing jackets? Was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Yes. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I've completely messed up here. I'd like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see Edgeworth? Oh, no, this is different. I mean, I don't know if she likes women, but she definitely doesn't like... Well, she likes some men. Like Edgeworth and Juan Carrito. Maybe she likes women as well. Who's to say? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must... For me? Confetti? Confet? There's probably something I'm aware of, but I've just completely blanked on it. Confet. Sounds familiar. There we go. Compulsory contrasexuality. Thank you. Oh, hat. Yes, that makes more sense than comfet. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. Oh yeah, because like she's old, so she would have. Yeah, and you can't be prime minister and definitely couldn't at the time be prime minister and gay. So yeah, she was like compulsory hetero because she's Margaret Thatcher. Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. Sure? She's so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. Yeah, that's Thatcher. She may not remember things. Okay. Not first was bad, but that's how the human mind is. It also. So what have I? Because you're not the one. Okay. Exactly. Hold on. What have I missed here? Well, because the button was found in his Hakama. She's just Maggie now, yeah. Maggie old bag. Is it the button? Hold on. Let's try the button. I mean, we did establish the Hakama was like trousers, did we not? You could have been wearing those with the jacket. Miss Oldbag! What? Don't say my name for no reason. They might hear it. Well, if they're just trousers, he could be wearing the jacket over it, but again, I maybe don't understand fully what a Hakama is. It's entirely possible. Do you know what this is? Ah! It's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure, maybe it was just like the trouser part and you could still technically be wearing the jacket over it, but I guess probably not. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. On Guard's body during a full-body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants. See? See? And on guard is the Nickel Samurai. The Hakama pants don't go with that jacket. Witness! It would be a valuable experience for her, I'm sure. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress... and she's off. I probably could if I really tried to keep up with this, but it's not worked so far. Ooh, damn, curling catching strays. And she shot me. Now, hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, the man, but Mr. On Guard, the Nickel Samurai. But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgypoo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. See, when it comes to breaking her testimony, we only need to get lucky once. She has to get lucky every time. That's your joke. I should be the one sighing, not you. Just need to up the brightness a wee bit. That's better. Hooray. Anyway, the trial. Who I saw. On guard. On guard. Wait, Are we fencing now? Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. Yep. Adrian, yep. Thatcher, yep. Edgeworth, yeah. I'll really open so many doors for Edgeworth. Maybe Phoenix as well. Possibly. Unless I've been misinterpreting what they mean by ace attorney. Possibly. Yes, convenient during the murder. Oh, probably. Everybody. The entire cast. The judge as well. Get the judge listening to Chapel Run. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Indeed. Indeed she does. I knew it! I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think that there could have been someone else inside that costume? I mean, it's entirely possible. It's a big costume. Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, young'uns today. I told you, there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? When she's older and learns what music is. Not right now. Because I said so. And what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Who I saw. Wait, that's who it was in the 90s? You've lost me again. Oh, Thatcher. Okay, right, yeah. Got you. Got you now. Oh, no, I meant to go back. I meant to be pressing. Press! I thought you were talking about Pearl. I was like, she was born in the 90s. Would you please get on with your... That's not a press. That's just telling her to carry on. Fuck. Or barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. Oh, no. What? Striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai. Well, that actually worked. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts. Okay. Oh, she liked the gum. You promise, right? Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. I need to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth. Old chum. Damn. Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. I thought a Tamarai. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Chum. He's also secretly 1960s Batman. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? I'm assuming it's a hitherto unmentioned character. I initially read it as Judge Whacker and thought he was like just threatening to kill the judge. It's not a name I'm familiar with, Wagner, but also, I mean, it definitely became theatrics over testimonies somewhere around the first case of the first game, Phoenix. Like, a lot of your defense is just theatrics and pointing. All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? Well, and why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say. It's because you're stupid. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it! Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Well, that makes sense. He had to get the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. And that included the Jammin' Ninja. Well, he is part of everyone. Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Am I throwing the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. Oh, okay. That makes sense because he specifically said like the People's Court or the Public's Court or something like that. Great reference. People's Court. I'm aware of that as a concept. I would not have known that that was the name of the judge. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what we're talking about first. I mean, that's basically what he's saying here, just not as clever. Okay. Alright, what have I got? So I mean, it also explains why he's in costume. Controller, get your shit together. And yeah, he does have to go by Karita's room to get to the stage show, so that comes up. Think, Phoenix, think. Yeah. Oh, fun. There's a knockoff Sherlock Holmes. I think I'm aware of that one. That sounds familiar. Which is weird. Actually, no, Sherlock Holmes is like some of Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain, but not the full business. Also, I think it was like super recently, so that makes sense that they would have to come up with a fake name. I mean, they could have just went for like, you know, skirt around it with like Gregory House. What have I missed here? I've heard of the Great Ace Attorney. Contradiction. Indeed he did. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing for Juan. Let me see my evidence again. I suppose it could have... Was it this photo? Or... That's a map, that's not a photo. This photo? The murder photo? Because now I'm not sure which photo. I think those are the only two photos we have. Yeah. No? No, that's a map. Probably not that. Maybe that poster on stage show right after the crime, you know. Okay, so there's something that we don't have yet. Damn, Control, you're being really fucky today. There's a contradiction. I just don't see it. Unless it's a person? But I don't think so. I just pressed again, it's fine. Now this gives me time to think. Would it have been convenient? It's a pretty cumbersome costume. It's probably not this. No, the music didn't stop, so it's not. Oh? The knife. Okay, where the knife? Oh! Because he had gloves. I was thinking because the stabbing wasn't the murder. I think this is where we present the knife either way. If my controller would stay on. The knife did have fingerprints. Present the knife. Music stopped. Fucking controller. For the love of God. Please, take a look at this knife. Every time I do, it gives me life. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Well, technically after the murder, we've established. Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I am driving at. They are just flirting at this point. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder... Oh, you're right, it's the fingerprints thing. Not the stabbing wasn't the murder. Then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on the knife right off. Indeed she does. And Edgeworth wishes he was driving Phoenix just off into the sunset. Oh, that's right, the Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? Also, one of his arms is metal. He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Why would he take them off for the stabbing, Edgeworth? And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? Thank you. There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. Okay. Yeah, like they've been pushing their benches together. But then that takes away the murder intent. And also, why did he have the knife? But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yeah, so why would he have brought the knife if he wasn't planning to murder? And if he wasn't planning to murder, why would he have the knife? If he was just going to plan the stage show? Doesn't make sense, Edgeworth. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? It's bullshit. So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with his theory? There is a contradiction. I don't know what we present yet, but there is a contradiction. Maybe it wasn't at this point. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. The knife. This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Damn. horrible supposition. And one more thing. I'm free this Friday. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, you know, yeah, then there should be glove marks left on the knife, not fingerprints. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. Like bees on a hive. Bees on a hive. Sure. Something that's why Edgeworth paused as well. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Shanker be shanked. I mean, fair. And he was visiting his rival, so he maybe was like, oh, maybe he's going to try and shank me, so I'm going to bring this knife. Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt on guard. It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame? But he's not a picture. Aren't you forcing the interpretations just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Urgh! Witness! You can't put extra E's in it and not change the sound of it. It doesn't make sense. It has to be extra S's just. Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult. Edgy poo. Grrr. Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? Unfortunately, I don't know enough about Thatcher to figure out a clever answer to who she'd be waiting for. That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Carrera. Am I correct, witness? Ha, ha, ha! The way you think, you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Carrera. She was also in on the whole Adrian scandal business. Maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Also, like, outside of the context of a game, why would Mia be so fucking vague and hinty and not just tell Phoenix? Obviously it has to be because it's a game and you need to figure it out yourself, but... like, just, who are you talking about, Mia? I'm dumb. Miss Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? A wine glass! No. Where are you? There you are, Adrian Andrews. Who is this person? We mentioned her before. You said she was pretty. This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? They were having an affair. It seems that this is the latest rumour in circulation, Your Honour. Oh, this is... well, this is... I see. Judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Arn Anderson? No, Adrian Andrews, without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. It's a lot of effort for a suicide note that might just not exist. Witness? Or did we find it? No, we didn't find it. How did we find it? I can't remember. What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. She's got a gun. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. It's a gift. If I could just sort of channel it better, where I don't just blindly stumble into things. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. I get off on scandal. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I simply cannot let this point... I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you young'uns. I've stumbled into something big. Hooray! I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Oh no, because Pearl's not here, so it's fine. Secret information. That on guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin Per Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. That's entirely possible. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? I mean, courtroom's filled with people. The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant. Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? No, she's really in no position. We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumour once and for all. It's going to be a smashing joke there, but I decided not to. No bother that. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. You were just saying, you were calling her a nice old lady before. Exactly. Adrian has no interest in men. That's right. On guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Foul blood? Damn. Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. What? Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Sure. Fucking Top Gun reference, why not? So, evil, evil man. What have you got to say on that? You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with Per Juan. Yeah, I'm sure he was devastated. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Land. All the way to the danger zone. The zone will be one of danger. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Oh, definitely not that. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Jesus. Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touché. He thought he could ruin Per Juan by causing a huge scandal. Indeed, a simpler time. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal... No, I'm not Pearl. I know what a scandal is. I need to know specifically what this scandal is. Never mind. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. You'd have to be a complete idiot, or a small child who grew up in a weird cult village to not know what scandal means. Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. A Monopoly? A panopoly. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. If he doesn't, there's like a thinly veiled reference to him, like Ronald Gump. Or Frump. Ronald Frump. But, like, because this is like... Well, it's 2016-17, then yeah, he is running for or has just become... Donald Trump sounds right. And he's the president, I guess. That sounds right. Yeah, Donald Trump. But like instead of orange, he's like bright blue for some reason. Sounds right. Because like they'd have to change like one detail to avoid getting sued, and for some reason I've decided they would make him blue instead of orange, rather than like, I don't know, give him a mustache. You don't have any proof that Mr. Ungard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock. The shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. Right? President of Japanifornia, because his attorney takes place in a world where the California alien land law wasn't put in place. Indeed. Japanifornia is like a great name for like a futuristic, like, cyberpunk type place. Like Blade Runner could take place in Japanifornia. Or cyberpunk. You're right, I can't do anything, but boy do I wish I could do something about you. Killer Phoenix, no court on Earth would blame you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that Ungard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Do I have... I don't think I do. I'm going to decline. I don't have anything to offer. Oh, they would cross-examine all night long. On into the morning. See? Just as I thought. And you were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. Oh, yeah. Floors, walls, ceiling, desks, cars. I don't like that we've just given Thatcher a pass to say whatever she wants. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles. For you, anyway. Cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Maybe I did have proof there, but I can't think of what it was that would prove that he didn't have ill will. Because it's hard to prove a negative. So what do you mean by, I took action? I killed him. Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. What? Something you young'uns need. You were going to teach her a good lesson. I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Oh. Like this. She was going to, like, ray gun her, I guess. No, stop. Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. Indeed. Ah, she can be your old bitch if you want. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. Ah, fair. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. I'll just go in one end out the other. How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? Press further. If you don't be a good... why? Indeed, what is a secret? Why are we doing the be a good girl talk with fucking Thatcher here? Jesus Christ, Phoenix. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today. Damn. Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me. Nagurk! Nagurk! What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. Huh. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. Handle this. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from. Just might be. It's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did old Bag get her inside information? has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? Stop being so vague, Mia! A man's life hangs in the balance, but you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm going to press the heck out of it. Yeah, that's not a question you want in your search history. Okay. Stop. Stop. What are we? So I think it's this. Back to this. I just think instead of pressing further, I have to present evidence. And it's probably the gossip column? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that! Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? The magazine clipping. Oh? You call that proof? It looks more like proof of spite towards the witness. Oh, the camera. If you have nothing to back up your claims, then they are no more valid than gossip. Objection sustained. Damn you. We'll try the camera. I just thought, because I thought the information was the gossip. I misread that situation. Let's try the camera. Press. Present evidence, unless it's wait and see. Genius is very good. So I haven't tried wait and see. Aha! The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. Oh. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. Oh! It's not so much the camera as the note written with the camera. Fucking brains, man. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. Well, what? Outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. I think. No, I said it, yeah. I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. Ah! No! You see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Did she fall down? Or? Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard! I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. Sure, I was only checking what she'd written. A lot of odd phrases here. Edgy poo, you believe me, don't you? Nung. I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Damn, Edgeworth. Damn. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this. Just what? She stole a key piece of evidence, Your Honor. I think. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Pile on more pressure. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Why do we need to make them deaf? Witness! You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why didn't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? Onto, into, whatever he's into. I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it! And I can prove it. Oh shit. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. It's the camera. Hands on the desk and the music stopped. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Does sound like something she would say. Why, witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera too. Grr. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? Ah, that's the camera I'm looking for. What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. It's a weird business card to have made up. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of picture she'd taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. I'm starting to question whether she even actually worked at the hotel. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry! We must examine them at once. Shit. Oh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? Photos. There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. That's the samurai. This is the nickel samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Interesting. I'll have to have a proper look at it again. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ongar clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his nickel samurai costume. If that is the case, then this nickel samurai... Okay, issue... He's missing an arm. Oh, we can do that. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, here. What am I missing here? Is it the arm? Oh, the pants. Okay. Above his feet. Is this something that was in the previous case? That somebody was too short to be in the costume, so the costume was dragging? This sounds familiar. So yeah, whoever's in the costume's too short. Yeah. Okay. The defendant. The hell it is. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? I do not! If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. And I'm pretty sure it isn't what Edgeworth wants me to blow. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with it. Oh, absolutely something, just not it. Well, a different it. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? And hopefully you will be later. Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? Not pure enough for the court. I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Ooh. Debunk with a bunker buster. Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Yes. Hands on the desk. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well... Yeah, no, he doesn't want Maggie to be doing the blowing. Definitely not. I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Assuming the feet. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. Scandalous even if it was the 1800s. However, you can't. And? What does that mean? The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? Hand on the desk. I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There is only one explanation for this. Matt on Guard shrank before doing the murder. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Pearl! I'm sure he just does. Him and Edgeworth. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. Is he not usually calm? Is it not more unusual when he's like brimming with rage? That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? Oh, most certainly. Psychic lawyer and all that. Was she psychic? She was psychic. Because she's from the psychic village. Yeah, psychic lawyer. I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all. Or he just doesn't care. Awesome. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? Yeah, she was in the psychic cult. So yeah, psychic lawyer. She can read Phoenix's mind. If the person in this photo is not Matt on Guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right? I have something I want to ask you. Will you marry me? I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt on Guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Someone shorter than Matt on Guard. Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. I'm just going to save. Who is the person in this photograph? Pearl Fay. Probably not. I mean, Adrian? Music did stop. Oh, the music did stop. Hooray. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. On Guard's room. That makes sense. It would have to be somebody with access to Matt's room to get the costume. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. On Guard that night. Adrian is who. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. On Guard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder... No, we've established the knife was like the post-murder weapon. It was the desecration of a corpse weapon. I think would be the crime. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? You, Edgeworth. You. Tired of hiding it. I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. Hands on the desk. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. But why? Like, I get why she might kill Juan for the possibly non-existent suicide note, but why would she frame Matt? Yeah. No, that bit doesn't make sense. There's a lot of holes in his logic. Order! 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 It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honour? This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Oh? Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. Oh shit! It seems like we might be coming up on Adrian Torment. One more day. Ack! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya stays kidnapped. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. But what am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection. Ooh, Edgeworth says a thing? Did I press the objection or did I press wait? No, oh, there we go. Hands on the desk. Please, Your Honour, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. No, I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not... Hold it. Dun, dun. I abhor wasting such valuable time. Oh, no. Edgeworth. Your Honour, I request that you please continue with today's trial. Is he in on the kidnapping for some reason? Or like aware of the kidnapping for some reason? He's been oddly kind of helpful. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Tisk. Unexpected development. I think you underestimate me, Your Honour. And what do you mean by that? Adrian Andrews is right here. Probably. That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all. Slave my way? Happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. I mean, it makes sense he would figure it out. What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby, downing Bloody Marys. As we established earlier. She is the next witness, drunk as she may be. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. He thinks of everything. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. I mean, she's beautiful. Looks like this battle is far from over. Which is good for us. Exactly. Wait, can you hear Mia? Very well, we will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. I want to go on the swings. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Super. To be continued. But like right now. I'm going to take this 10-minute recess to have a drink. Also, is this going to be like the fourth case in Phoenix Wright 1 where it's like super long? I think the last, because like the fourth case in the first Phoenix Wright was like extra long. Like a... Ooh, Edgeworth says a thing. Cannot wait to find out. Yeah, because like I think, as I understand it, because this is like a collection of like remasters. And I think each of these games has like a bonus game or a bonus trial case that came in the remaster. And the one in the first game, I think, took me as long to complete as the 3 previous. But that may have also just been because I'm dumb. So I figured this was probably like a similar case. Sorry, I just heard the fucking riff from More Than a Feeling out of nowhere. What the fuck? Okay, Rise from the Ashes was like a bonus one. Okay. Dude! I can't believe that, Adrian. No way! Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. Yeah, it's never the cool and collected people that do the murder, is it? She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. But why? The reason Rise from the Ashes exists because of an American exclusive. Oh, good to know. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. Or the hotel staff. So, after the ceremony, during the break, huh? Looks like I did a murder. I was sleeping like a log. Oh, that's not. That's him. Looks like it's time to do a murder. There we go, that's what she's saying. Ah, okay. Good to know. I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Makes sense. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her. I feel like she isn't. Check the button for fingerprints. Does make a lot of sense. Yes, she is. Once I turn the control back on. The real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. First I've ever heard that. She has her own agenda. I know, she's a woman. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. We are going to tear her to shreds. Just mass psychic damage. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day and my kidnapped friend released. Oh, you weren't meant to hear about that. That is her agenda. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? If that's not guilty, then I will. Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impax's missing suicide note, right? Yes. 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 Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impax as her strength and reason to live. In a purely platonic heterosexual way, I'm sure. But then Miss Impax suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. I'm assuming that's how this next bit's gonna roughly go, yeah. Are we gonna ask him about the grass in his mouth? And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impax. It was Edgeworth! Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Fiendworth? Would that be the ship name? Edgex? Edgewright? Probably Edgewright. Don't let your guard down yet. Wright-worth, of course. This is why you do the names. Something that's the ship he's in command of. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Well, that sucks. Can't be doing that. They did that at Sailor Moon as well, didn't they? Or something like that. Something got straightified. Oh, okay, Wrightworth is the accepting name. Good to know. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. And the card appears again. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt On Guard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure. What is it? That was it! Oh good, they made them gay again. Fantastic. I knew there was something like that. At one point I might have known which which ones the lesbians were, but I can't remember now. Obviously they were planets, but I can't remember the names. I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. No one said Gossipland, Your Honour. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Is there one where the judge goes on trial? Because that would be fun. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Kurita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. Well, I'd imagine you would be if you're dating one and managing the other. The rivalry would probably come up. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. And Matt. So it was a fry and bait. What the fuck are you talking about, sir? Or was that a bait and fry? What? Reminds him of fishing anyway. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. Well, I am. Yeah, a bait and switch. I figured is what he was trying to say. Totally, yeah, that's platonic sister talk. With mentoring quotes. Was the anime any good? I might have to give that a watch. Interesting. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. Yeah, Phoenix. We explicitly called you because I think you did the murder. Oh, she's on to me. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body. By Adrian Andrews. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. So I set my glass down. I mean, I'm considering it seems to happen quite a bit. Probably not a bad name. Although she didn't find Celeste's body first, Juan did. But still, I think it'd be a good name for her autobiography. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as the crime scene photo, except I was in it. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Ah. They improved Turnabout Big Top. Fascinating. And they make Adrian look bad as hell. Fantastic. I will have to track it down. She probably was too, yeah. You poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. But I remembered my juice. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honour. Oh, Crunchyroll, good to know. Should probably get that. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. And she does love her a Bloody Mary. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. Unless it's about her trauma. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? Yes, with filler arc. Oh, it's on Prime as well. I have that. Because that's usually how you disrupt pacing, is just with needless filler. She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. Type of woman that can get distracted by cheese. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? You want me to box her? Got it, Mia. Well, put your dukes up. When I found the body. But this time with interruptions. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. That tracks. We saw this flashback already. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the day. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? Yeah, it was a weird way to phrase it, Phoenix. I think a woman who probably gets obsessed with weird things, thinks black and white, and seems to fidget with everything she owns. Seems like it. What are you... Right? I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. Okay, so it's not just me thinking that was a weird way to phrase it. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. You, me, dinner. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Engarde's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object. Right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Damn, he fucking owned Phoenix there. Went to Juan's room. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon. What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? Something to do with horrible amounts of trauma? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. Can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? And there was his dead body. Oh, I'm fully expecting it. You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. She still found a dead body, Phoenix. Like, close or not, it would shock most people. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. Thank you, Edgeworth. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Yeah, he's onto her. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. Do you? What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? So I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. As you do. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. Also some vodka. And vodka, tomato juice, pepper, and like Tabasco, I think, and like a stick of celery. Haven't made a Bloody Mary in a while. I think that's roughly it. Like at the most basic level anyway. Sounds right. Because you want to have a bit of a kick. Yes, to help myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Yeah, that would be like the blue text after. Or, like, well, because usually the meme version of that, it's always in images. I don't know what the image would be for suicidal, and in Phoenix's head it would just be the lesbian flag. But yeah, exactly. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? No, I forgot the vodka. Huh? There were no lip marks left in this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down. Without drinking it. So, you poured yourself a glass because you thought you were going to faint. Oh, there we go. But it wasn't to have a drink, it was just the act of pouring the juice calmed you down? Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? It's kind of wild. My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank. So's everyone's in this world. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? Oh, I have a feeling you have not even begun to see rude. I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. Indeed. Again, I'm not familiar with that particular dub. But the reference sounds familiar. So it is that we have one thing. What one thing? Oh, please do. Never mind. It's no big deal. You can't really do never mind in a court trial. What was she starting to say just now? Press further! Hands on the desk! I'll watch this quickly, fuck it. Yes, open the link. Fuck it, we're taking a brief trip to watch a thing. Why aren't you opening? Open. Or we can do that. For some reason it's not letting me, it's not following the link. Maybe if I did it on the laptop instead of the phone. Oh, I feel like I have seen this. Oh yeah, I've seen this. That's where Piss on the Moon comes from. Delightful, that was worth stopping for a moment. Wonderful stuff. Anyway, Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. The mistake being murder. That'd be wild. Oh, just pauses. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Oh, also I forgot to turn my phone back down. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. You didn't piss yourself, did you? Did somebody else piss themselves in one of these? I feel like they did. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Of course you did. Of course you did. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? It's the one. This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Sounds like something she would say. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Okay, so she said the scene was like it was in the photo, which we've already disproven because she's the one that knocked over the vase. The other thing was the guitar case. I need to look at it again because I can't remember the specifics of it. Only the top of the lid bears Curtis' fingerprints, so water was on the lid but not inside, which means it was closed at one point when, because if it was open when the vase fell, there'd be water on the inside, meaning it was opened after. So now we just need to figure out when to bring that up. And I was the one who knocked over the flower vase, where it fell onto the guitar case. Did I press on this yet? I don't think I did. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase. It's weird. I can never actually remember if I say vase or vase or not. God, you'd be on the floor in like minutes. Like, once I have to think about it, it just completely goes as to what I would naturally say. It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I've probably done both. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse. So I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. I see now I'm intentionally thinking about it, I've settled on the vase. But before, when I wasn't, I was probably flicking between. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of it. Again, I feel like stumbling upon a murder would ruffle the feathers of even the most collected person, Phoenix. Could say I'm bivisual. Or visual. It's a poor joke. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. Phoenix, you seem to be forgetting she's fucked in the head. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. Press harder, Phoenix. Make her suffer. Keep on the offensive and not let up. Yeah, basically. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. Or a large net. Oh, we're absolutely bringing up the suicide attempt. I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake. Okay, so... Time for the ba-ba-ba. So... Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Guitar case. No, not hand on the desk. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell into the guitar case? Yes. Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Critics have an old voice? Or a new voice? Miss Andrews! You testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. I'll be honest, I've sort of lost track. Earlier on in this series, I was doing more distinct voices. I've sort of given up on that, so I hadn't really noticed that I'd sort of changed my Phoenix. But yeah, I was maybe slightly more authoritative. No, that was... I don't know. I'm in my head about it now. That's fine. If that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. I'll probably switch to him and Edgeworth at some point. There's a voice clip? Oh, the objection voice clip. Sorry, I thought you were talking about me. Jeez. Yes. Or has it been the same in this particular collection? Because I hadn't noticed it changing. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. Oh. Fascinating. Good to know. Okay, yeah, so I as far as I've heard it, it's been the same, but at some point there was a change. Following you now. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell. Hands on the desk. The glass shard should be inside, not outside the case, or in and out. Ah! What is your point? Right. That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Voice lines changed for this game was in 2025, but its first changes came in Dual Destinies in 2013. Huh, good to know. I'm learning. Hooray. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Abso-fucking-lutely. The empty guitar case. Hands on the desk. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Heh, I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. Oh, that's unfortunate. Never like to hear that. Can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along, for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honour. I was gonna make a joke, but yeah. To that effect. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed on account of the murder. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. Why? It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Okay, that gets around that, I guess. Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Damn, Edgeworth. Damn. Alright. So, I don't remember dazed. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see... Are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her she should answer or not. Seems like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. Okay, so we're already starting to fucking, like, ruin her. So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes. Well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Carita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. It's got a point. It's hard not to feel bad for her. Like, even if she is the murderer, it's kind of like, yeah, she's had a rough fucking go of it. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought, maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. We've established it was in the studio though. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. It's not wrong. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Prints were on the glass, right? So if she opened the guitar, why wouldn't her prints be on it? Was that because you were shocked and dazed at the discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. Well, her prints wouldn't be on it because someone else opened it. Or she was wearing gloves. Because she opened it while doing the murder. Dressed as the Nickel Samurai. And she opened it because she thought that might be where the note was hidden. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. Oh no, not badgering. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now. Strike! Strike now, Phoenix! So this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. Oh no! Like, I mean, in some situations getting double teamed by Phoenix and Edgeworth would be great, but not like that. Alright, so what have we got? So it's probably it's the glass, I'm assuming. So let's try here. Yeah, because that specifically says it bears her fingerprints. Well, the music didn't stop, so no. Maybe it's the guitar case. Yeah, let's try. Just drop a save here, because I could die soon. Nope, stick with that one. Stick with that one. That bears Carita's fingerprints. Music stopped. Dramatic point. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Really? Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Just take this! Ah. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time, but The glass. Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Just, well, as I see in my notes. Something to that effect. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. So now we chuck the glass at her because the glass has her fingerprints. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Because glass! Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yes. Take that. Sounds about right, yeah. I have your proof right here. This wine glass that we've somehow managed to bring to court without spilling a drop of the tomato juice. The wine glass. You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice. Yeah, that's also how we're tormenting her. We're just waving a Bloody Mary around and not letting her have it. Wouldn't you think it was just a little strange, I was on the desk, that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Ugen. Order! 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 Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar! The bright red guitar was at the studio. Huh. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was, yeah, like she's about to take a sip, we reveal something, it drops, and then she somehow gets another one, but she never gets to drink it. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Oh, most certainly. And also, just having gone through all the shit, she's probably drank a lot to build up a tolerance anyway, even if she hadn't. Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Tactic? Yes, misdirection tactic. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided objection. Hands on the desk. No, Your Honor, please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. That rhymed. Yeah, exactly. Just. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. Hand on the desk. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. I mean, yeah. Like, they're just bottling everything up until eventually it all just releases at once in a horrible display of emotion and pain. Standard. British. If you're so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing. Yes. Yes, exactly. No, not a black guitar either. So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, Wright? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? See, I want to go with that. Oh, it would absolutely really grate on you. Just bang, bang. Is it the suicide report? Nope. Okay. Wasn't thinking it was inside. I was saying it would point to the thing. Okay. I'm gonna drop another save here. We're running out of life. Oh, I can't. What was in the case? Yeah, we didn't actually think it was in there. We just wanted to make sure Adrian knows we have it. What do I think was in the case? I don't know. I don't know. What was asleep in his? The costume. Okay, so what? The poster? Or the photo? Nickel Samurai. Because that's labelled as the Nickel Samurai, it's not labelled as like a photograph, so yeah, let's go with that. This is a photograph! Take a look at it. Maybe every time you do it, it'll make you laugh. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture. It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is marriage to Edgeworth. Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. But what? I'm intrigued. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Wright, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. That is usually why you would get a costume out of somewhere. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop of ice cream. hands it to Adrian. Look at this photograph. She's like, this isn't a photograph. This is, oh God! And she just breaks. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? No, this suicide report. Look, Adrian. Order. Ordeer! Like, again, you can't put that many E's in it and not change the sound. So he said order and then ordeer for some reason. Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? I feel like he's saying that to, like, you, the player / audience. Nice job, Phoenix. Wow, I've never heard that not sarcastically. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later, stumble blindly. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. But wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Man on Guard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? Don't know why, Edgeworth is slowly turning into like Seto Kaiba, voice-wise. I mean, I have been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Look at this, suicide note. Something rhymes with note. True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. I assure you don't. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume. Mr. Engard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurais costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I am saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? Hand on the desk. It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, look at this suicide note. I bet you know something about this note. Boom. Okay. Why would he have brought the spare costume? I don't know. But why? The victim, Mr. Kirito, was the Jamin Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? Okay, wait. Press conference that neither Matt nor Adrian knew about. Specifically, the Nickel Samurai called. I don't know if I should be proud of that or not. Nickel Samurai called a press conference, not Matt on guard, nor Adrian Andrews. Kurita had the spare costume to do something at the press conference to damage the reputation of the Nickel Samurai. Possibly. What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? No, I said that out loud. If I was mumbling to myself, it would have been blue. Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? No, I definitely have an inner monologue. Again, blue. Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... the press conference. Music didn't stop. But I think I'm still right. On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. Damn, I'm good. I actually figured that one out before I plunged into it. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. Well, that would be why he would do it. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Yes. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros at what you do. Really? Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Look at this suicide note. Yeah, good bet. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me. You? Oh, yeah, no, she would have no time for either of us. Juan had bet everything on the jamming ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down on it with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Damn. What? Damn. The plot thickens. And do you know what this secret of Mr. Ungard's is, Miss Andrew? No. That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. Just holding it up in front of her. Just turns and leaves. Walks into a cupboard to cry. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. A wee bit. But that's to be expected. I'm suspicious. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. But protect Mr. Ungard? Gavel. And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. I don't think she does, no. Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behaviour. Yes, Your Honour, I understand. Ooh, new testimony. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. I feel like that's a bit outside the remit of being a manager. It's covering for murder. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. Are you, though? Are you really? We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. Yeah, she has. She's definitely lied on the stand. If the defence can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. As it often does. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. So he just starts yelling, "Suicide!" So he's run out of ideas. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Irk. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. Indeed. It really makes you feel worse for what we're undoubtedly about to rain down upon her. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in law school, or in school even. At least not from what I remember. They almost certainly did, Phoenix. I feel like somebody else has brought it up in a previous case. Look at this report. It's your attempted report. May I continue now? Please do. Look at this report. It's your attempted report. So that implies that Matt was aware of the upcoming conference, which we know he wasn't. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? Edgar's like, he's grasping? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Carita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. Oh yeah, the love why. Damn. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking helping the victim with his plan is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I don't know. I don't know, Phoenix. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. He was having a nap. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? She's about to say yes, isn't she? Nope, I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. It's a good question. You can't really tell from this shot anyway, because she's the only person in it. Wonder if at some point we'll find out. Next time it cuts to like the big wide shot, we'll maybe get a better idea. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. Alright. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. On the desk. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. Incisive, maybe, because it stabs. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button. It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought, and during the fight the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Irk. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. You're not supposed to be doing like play-by-play commentary here, Judge. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man. Oh, I thought I was just going to hear him there. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Oh, she can't read my mind. Unless the blue things are just under his breath and not, like, thoughts. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. Okay, Mix, yeah. And I thought I had her. I thought I had her for nope. And I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where? And what? That makes more sense rather than it just being inner monologue. He is sort of just like, talking to himself. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. But then his mouth moves when he's white text talking. It doesn't when he's blue text. But when you but what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? No, she stabbed the other guy in the chest. And at the worst possible time. Yeah, maybe. It's vaguely under the category of no one else really hears it, so it's either his thoughts or like he's mumbling. That makes sense. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? Well, she set up a damning press conference. This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Ungard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Ungard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. And the victim ill bears. Or something. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. Sounds like it'll be a fun show though. And please, stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now. But you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss... Oh, God, no. Also, again, at the start of that sentence, I thought he was talking about me. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. So I've already pressed on everything. And Mia was explicitly saying I needed evidence. What have we got? So wait, the egg was important? Did that come up earlier? I'm now scrolling back through the chat. There was something about the egg. I said something about the egg. No, not the egg, the button. Jesus Christ. Maybe I didn't. No, maybe I didn't. I thought I did. But that is interesting. Oh, okay. Sort of 41154. Fascinating. Good to know. Right. Looking for evidence. Well, yeah, like that doesn't line up with the arranging a press conference to kill his career. Maybe that. You know what? Just before. Safety save. Hmm, 5-4. So that was wrong. Okay. Right. So I'm about to die. If I get this wrong. Right, hold on. Glossy photo pushed onto me by Maya. Seems like the Nickel Samurai is to confess something after the post-ceremony stage show, originally from Maya's kidnapper who goes by the name of The Killer. Stolen on the night of the murder, tabloid article about the victim was in the case. An article from the tabloid Gossipland. Map of the Gatewater Hotel around the crime scene. Empty. There is some water, but only on top of the lid. Bears Karita's fingerprints. Found next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrew's fingerprints. Photo of Juan Karita's murder scene. Nothing here. It was ripped from his costume, is covered in Karita's blood, found in on guard's Hakama. Deceased, Celeste Impacts, found by Juan Karita. Was her suicide note hidden? Adrian Andrews' reason. Adrian Andrews. Reason, shock from Celeste Impacts' suicide. Pardon me. Time of death 8:15. Cause strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Bears the victim's blood and on guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. What am I not? I'm going to press on everything again. Because I'm not seeing anything here. Did you say that that was your intuition speaking to you? Because I don't remember there being a point where I could... Technically she's above average height in Japan. Ah. Okay, so like she's not like short, but she's short enough that the costume wouldn't fit. Good to know. Yeah, when in doubt, I just go through a circle of just pressing. So we'll see. Why do you keep doing this to yourself, Phoenix? Oh yeah, just run in circles. Swear that Mr. Guard was taking out of the room. Yep. Again, we went through all this and just seeing if there's something. How do you know that? When the ends of the threads and the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit perfectly. And final point. Yep. Wishy-washy. There's nothing more to press, Phoenix. Strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. I mean, eventually it might break her and just get a confession. Alright, hold on. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. That sounds important. I just don't know... I don't know what I'm looking for here. Yeah, no, she would not want that. Not from Phoenix, anyway. Unfortunately, the only person she'd want it from is Dad. People. Are you somehow going to be revealed to be secretly also connected to Matt on guard? She did hit off of Francisca, but she has now been shot. I'm gonna try this. I don't think I'm right. No, you didn't stop. Oh, for fuck's sake, I haven't done it again, have I? Not here, clearly, but I've done something. Yeah, okay. Right. What am I not getting from this testimony? That's insane that I've done that again. I'll probably have forgotten I did it by the time it actually comes up. Right. We're back here. What have I missed? I've pressed on everything. There is no more pressing to be done. Mia has made it very clear that I need evidence. The moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. I don't think I have anything to contradict that. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove him right. Don't really have anything on that. What did she say to this one again? Mr. Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally. Oh yeah, this whole bit. You're the one who helped Mr. Carito with his press conference. Okay. So assuming it is Adrian's the murderer, she specifically has chosen to try and frame... She's specifically chosen to try and frame Matt. Was Matt involved with Celeste? He broke up with her. That led to the suicide. Oh, for fuck's sake, no. And... yeah. Oh, I'm close. Oh, fascinating. He was involved. Okay. Again, none of this matters if I can't get past this bit. I don't know what the evidence I'm missing here is. Do I have something that contradicts that? No. No. Okay, so I'm close. So he wasn't like romantically involved. Was he? Was Celeste like his former manager? And he like fired her? I think that'll be a bit much to lead to a suicide. Okay, so he was romantically involved. Okay. Feels like she would murder him more than Juan for possibly hiding this suicide note. I was with her before Juan. Yeah, fascinating. Okay. I'm putting things together. Again, I don't know how to get to the point where I can use this information. What? I'm just going to I'm going to show the button here. Nope. Okay. I mean, I could just blindly throw everything until I hit it. But I don't want to do that. Yep. Wishy-washy. Strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Stop pinning her down as well. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Don't know what I'm looking for here. Know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove him right. Didn't have an alibi. Oh. The love why, think about that. Celeste is the one in the middle. Yep. Three brothers being the free vote. Yep. Matt, Juan, Adrian Andrews. Ah, okay. Again, this all feels like it's for later on. Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. So... did I try for the motive? No, it's not that. Okay. intriguing. Press fourth. Press on the fourth. Okay. Nope. Please load. Load it, please. Press the fourth. Press the fourth. Okay, so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 did. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. Heard that before too, but why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to a fine detail? Don't look like that just because I'm prepared and you're not. Arg, and I thought I had her for this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. Where and what? Okay. So that's it. I've pressed on all of these, so it's evidence. Now the fact that he well, maybe he just meant it has to be here, like in the testimony, but I feel like it's on this specific point, maybe? That was torn off of one. Wait. Hold on. I swear there was something about did the button not come off after, but I don't have anything to prove that, and I tried the button here. Juan's autopsy. Oh, okay. This is the victim's autopsy report. I'm not sure, and this happens a lot where I get the right thing, but I'm not entirely sure why until they spell it out for me. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. Ah, of course. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Post-mortem as well, yeah, it sounds more professional if nothing else, Phoenix. Exactly, which means, hands on the desk, it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ah! That's right, Miss Andrews. Ah, indeed. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. Hands on the desk. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body to plant as framing evidence. I mean, she doesn't look that short there. She looks about the same height as everybody. Order! Oh. Oh, good for you. What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Dinner? Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We know this button was not torn off during the fight. Oh, you should. You should absolutely study law. For some reason I misread that the first time I was saying you were. Might help with these. I might do it. Yeah, just every subtle innuendo and reference, she's just... because it's reminding her of what she lost. Everything's torment. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean... You don't know, Judge. Oh, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To have a memento of the crime. To pin the crime on guard. She's just psychic damage the whole way through this. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. You don't know what people are into. Oh, the badgering... Oh no, the badgering has not begun. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. Also, she's kind of in a very nonchalant pose there in that shot. And the real murder is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Tabor's on the other end of the radio calling themselves the Killer. Ah. Indeed. It's a charm. Also makes everybody sound a little bit dumber. Finally, I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is Pearl Fay. No, it's probably Adrian Andrews. The person I accused like half an hour ago. Miss Adrian Andrews, I choose you. Go! Thunderbolt. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. The miracle never happened. Ooh, I might fail on purpose just to get that. Like, let me know when I get to that point, because I want to see that. Because that's a great line. Oh, I missed what she said there. Order! 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 You see, he didn't put any extra E's in this time. Mr. Wright, this is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? What do you think this is, a murder trial? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Oh, okay, it's like, not this one, it's like, okay, final part of the end. Okay, yeah, gotcha. 2 more episodes. Super. How preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me. Watch me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. Oh, I imagine the suicide report's got to be coming up soon. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Glasses. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Ogden! Glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? Hands on the desk. Hell yeah. Sounds like a great way. That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. Wow, they really went for like a come hither look for the undressing photo. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Yeah. She does. Picked up that one. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Understandable. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? Automod might be homophobic. Damn. It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. Hands on the desk. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, Hand on the desk. But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right! That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. Onto the desk. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Yeah, I need to have a word with it. Oh, mods really let us down. Ah! And to top it all off, there is this photograph. Look at it. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe that this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Stature, are you not? Please, stop. Don't make me reveal my height. No. Hands on the desk. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. She is very sad. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. She's pleading the fifth. I think that's the fifth. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. I know she's back to like the nonchalant pose. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. Oh no, the Edgeworth thing. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. I can't believe we got that right. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews! Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They did go off to discuss things. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Think hard about what we just discussed, understood? Alright. Twiddle the card. Francisca. Teaching people the law. Devious. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. By informing her of her rights. The devil. I feel like somebody, like, in law school probably called her that. And she really internalized it. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Asked Edgeworth out. I forgot his name for a second there. Something I haven't done. Heh. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Sorry, that one really got to me. Be asking him that question later. Run out of evidence. What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you've proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial. Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbour a wish to murder Mr. Carita. And here comes the trauma. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Carita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so, pardon me, I will abstain from answering. That kind of answers... What's the word for that? It's where by not saying anything you sort of answer the question. There's a word for it, but I forget what it is. Admission by... exclusion, something like that. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Oh no, the judge agreed with me. Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again. And Phoenix Wright hates a defiant woman. That's the one, admission by omission. I was close. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. Oh no. That's not good. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defence's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. Sentence her and On Guard together. They both did it. I don't know. I'm not a good judge. And that is to declare a recess. This time I'm going on the slide. Adrian definitely has something else other than that dependency on the set from us. Yeah, there's a lot going on in there. Recess? Yes, we'll watch at least one episode of Disney's Recess. I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? But that's tomorrow! We don't have a tomorrow! You'd probably turn up something interesting. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? I don't know, it's probably warm in this courtroom and I'm wearing like a three-piece suit. Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it! This isn't about that. Hands on the desk. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. Oh, that was him saying it, never mind. I don't know why I said it with Edgeworth voice. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... No. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... Dun dun dun! It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Oh no. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Oh no. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. I have thought that odd, admittedly. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Damn it, Edgeworth. Don't be funny about it. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I'm going to wave my finger at you. I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know why he does that. I like it though. Just waving the finger. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. Damn, everybody's rhyming. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. The glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan. He was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. That sounds about right. Yeah, the real Edgeworth were the queers we made along the way. Yeah. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. That kind of changes everything. It changes at least the context of the juice. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Devious things, no doubt. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. When I found the body. Again. Alright, so that's just didn't pour for myself. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Not alive. Then who did you pour for? Mr. Wright. Oh, there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. So, it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. Briefly thought he was going to say go fuck yourself. And then, what did you see next, witness? And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Real tired. Dead tired. Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Oh, wait a minute. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. Then what did cross your mind? Oh my god, I've killed him. I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. That tracks. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all? Nope. Yeah, it's the knife. The knife was in him. Maybe you could argue that the way he was slumped over, she didn't quite see it initially, but to be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. But that would be a very generous reading of it. You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state, I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice. She planted a certain something. Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Planted something. And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward. And knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. And yeah, obviously it was her Bloody Mary. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Right, so we've pressed on everything, so now we just need evidence. I'm gonna try the knife. Because there was a knife in him. Nope. Okay. It might be the right evidence, just at the wrong, like, point, so to speak, in the testimony. Just gonna drop a save because I'm on my last bit of health again. Let's see. Maybe this one? Nope. Okay. 6-7. Also, why was Matt... Oh, I suppose Matt was suddenly there because he was being sentenced. Continue. Yeah, like one of the later ones. Gotcha. Okay, so... Just faint it or something would make sense. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's try that one. For the knife. 5th or 6th, yeah. Nope. Okay, so we'll try the 7th. And then if not, it's not the knife. Fascinating. Like, you think that would be a thing. Like, you didn't notice the knife? But I guess not. Nope, please do. Farewell, my turnabout. Oh, because the photo would also show... Because the photo specifically shows how he was found. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, he wasn't like fully slumped over. His head was just down. Crime photo on the 5th or 6th. 4th, 5th or 6th. Okay. So, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Which one? Oh, any of them? Okay. I'll start on the 4th one. Well, that one specifically didn't cross my mind, so I'm going to go with that one. Murder photo. Music stopped. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Okay, so yeah, like any of them. Okay, good to know. Wasn't sure about that, if it always had to be on a specific point, or if, depending on the context, any of them would work, so good to know that that's an option. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. He had a knife in him. Ah! What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Carita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's... Well, you see... I'm knife blind. I have knife blindness. I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is... Miss Andrews! Your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ung! And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. Oh good. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell. Does she have like a split personality or something? It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. Okay, no. But you were the one who refused to testify. Just unstable. Okay. Well, that's fine then. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Hand on the head. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Yeah, the lap tracks. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard, but the important thing is we got her not guilty before the end of the day. Nope. Fucking Edgeworth. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. I'm a douche. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Got a point. The absolute real truth. What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Oh no. Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free, and I will wave my finger again. And in his place, on the desk, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? Quite possibly. I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, sorry, not worlds, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is control turned off. We've scared her. I don't like that. Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Fade the black. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. Indeed. Indeed she is. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone. Help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right? I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. Fine. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the one crying over there, right? No. Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I mean, strictly speaking, we just need the not guilty to get Maya back. Okay, good to know. So like from Phoenix's perspective, he doesn't really have any reason to want to force her to testify, so I'm going to just request the not guilty verdict. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win a complete acquittal today. Yeah. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court passes a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. Yeah, I didn't want to be cruel. There was no reason to, from like a Phoenix perspective anyway. Oops. I'm disappointed in you, Wright. I thought we could team up to badger this poor woman. Indeed we have. What have you learned this past year? To not be a dick? That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. Oh, he's got an idea. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, oh no. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, okay. Helpful badgering. Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop! Mr. Edgeworth! Fine. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. Oh no. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Oh shit. Stop! Please, stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah! That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? Oh, Jesus. I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. Jesus. Like, even with this, there's probably a nicer way to go about it. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to... Jesus. Edgeworth. More like Edgelord. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, fucking hell, man, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. Jesus, man. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. Yeah, no, that's fair. That was a really dickish way to go about it. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Stab the body with the knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. I feel like there's probably still a crime in there. Like, framing someone for murder is probably a crime. And this is her crime. Well, let's not put it in quotes, because it is probably still technically some sort of crime. Yeah. What? How is this possible? 1 second. Wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Apparently not. Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Sure. My Crime by Adrian Andrews. The follow-up to How I Found the Body, or whatever it was. So when I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. Phoenix probably feels not terrible about it. He's not the brightest. Probably hasn't realised the full extent of what he's done. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf was a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice. But the knife. When I realised he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. What is this plan you had to frame Matt for murder? I knew right away that the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weak point to the world. They are devastating, the old crying sprites. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. For me, that's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. Oh, yeah, the knife wasn't there. God, you know, I'm a step behind. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. That'd probably sell well. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Very like, Again, the hand on the hip. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. For Celeste! So you were the one to stab the victim with the knife. That knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realised something. If I used the button somehow, it could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. On Guard's hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Not in murder, no. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. Thatcher. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. No. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. Indeed, it's all her fault. As things often are. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes. Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. Indeed. I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. On Guard's room and planted the button. Into Matsukama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is mad on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Yeah, I feel like we could jump in and defend her instead. Like, we've definitely established it wasn't... Or have we? No, we haven't really established that it wasn't Matt yet, but I feel like we could just throw Matt under the bus and save Adrian. I think that's fair. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Yeah, why not? Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right? It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Oh no. Oh no, what did I just unintentionally reveal? The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit? Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But did I get my not guilty? But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Did I get my not guilty? Oh, the judge is gone. Where'd he go? He just disappeared? Okay, good. Oh, I didn't get my not guilty. Oh no. Today's trial. It's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. I mean, I figured that much. I didn't think this was going to end with Maya murdered. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth. What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. And mine. Okay. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. I sure did. Just reports, reports, reports. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. Beside the glass. I found this card when I discovered the man's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? It probably does. Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Hold it. Oh, jeez. Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth! Do you have any idea what you've stupidly yet inadvertently done? This! I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this? What's this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Yeah, she went immediately back to just being horribly upset. Fucking Edgeworth. To be continued. He's a bastard, that Edgeworth. Yes, I shall save. I may also stop here. This seems like a roughly halfway-ish kind of point. Sounds about right. Once I can pause. We'll get to the end of this sentence, fuck it. Yeah, okay. We'll get to like the end of this sentence and conversation and we'll call it as a stop here and do the second half sort of next week. So, Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya. There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. As a fucking envelope with a finger in it comes through the letterbox. Hmm? The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. How do we know that? Next time whimpering comes up, I'll whimper, maybe. And he won't, because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. He did also specifically say we had a day, though. Nf. Also, sniffle's easier. Cheer up, we don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. We don't know that. I mean, obviously, of course. Yes, that's right. Unless they're cutting her fingers off to send to us as we speak. So... Hey, you guys! Glad I caught you, pal! Mr. Scruffy Detective. That's his name, yeah. Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe. Look, I mean, it's very obviously him. Oh, has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. Gotcha. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now, and I came to talk to you, pal. But we're kind of busy right now. Okay, there we go. Save. And we go to the title screen for the music. So there we go. That is part 17 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. And yeah, we're about roughly halfway through. I can never remember the name of these things. Farewell My Turnabout, I should have guessed that. So yeah, so obviously we have a bit more investigation. Presumably we'll have to find out... Also that, I mean, it's always a good day when you can say you've done a terrible thing. Do some more investigation, presumably find out what's happening with Maya, because we didn't not get a not guilty, but we also didn't finish the case in a day, and that was very clearly stipulated to us, so we'll have to find out what's going on there. And probably throw more horrific memories and trauma at Adrian Andrews, because, yeah, we haven't brought up the suicide reports yet. Yay! But yeah, so that'll be next week. Before that, though, I will be back tomorrow. Don't know why I'm going to sing songy. Oh, good. Good to know. That she is in the third part. Yeah, so we're back tomorrow. What day's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, yes. Back tomorrow with some Stardew Valley. I forget exactly what we were doing. It largely revolved around trying to get a full leprechaun costume for what I remember. That was like the main thing. And progressing through... thing. And then more Planet Psychosis. Yes. With some fun reveals involving Mothman, because I've been working away at some shit. Also, possibly, you mentioned the Loch Ness Monster last time. I've done a bit of thinking about how to achieve that, and I may have figured it out. So there may be... I didn't finish building one, but I might be able to put one together. So lots to see with it. That'll be on Thursday. Oh yeah, no, I have the notes. So yeah, plenty of fun moth-related things in Planet Coaster on Thursday. And then on Saturday, we return to Conan Exiles, the continuing adventures of Valhalla, the cannibal, as he tries to become a priest of his god, shaman, of his god, whose name I've forgotten, but is some sort of unspeakable tentacle monstrosity, as all the best gods are. So yeah, so that's this week. And then next week we'll do it all again. Hooray! So, early next week, we'll be back with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. That's a great one. For like that'd be like a locksmith or something. I like it. Yeah, presumably finishing off Justice for All next week to then begin... What is the name of the third game? Just out of curiosity, because I never remember these things. Trials and Tribulations, of course it is. Oh, Caterer. Oh, Catering! Yes. I misread it and thought it said K turning, like key. But yes, catering is a better pun. Because K is a name and not key. Yeah, caterer makes more sense. Good one. So yeah, so there we go. So that's the plan. Just for reiteration's sake. Wednesday, Stardew Valley. Thursday, Planet Coaster 2. Saturday, Conan Exiles. Boom. That's the week. So yeah, so hopefully you'll join me for those. If not, I'll see you next week for more Phoenix Wright. Either way, thanks for watching. I will catch you next time. Cheers and goodbye.